Yo, what up guys, Ross Scalps here, and in this video I'm reviewing Fly Me to the Moon. Alright, so the director of this movie is Greg Berlanti, and he's directed Love, Simon, Life as We Know It, along with The Flash show and the Arrow series. And then as far as the actors go, you have Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson, and Woody Harrelson. Those are the three that really take up the most screen time and make this movie. Alright, so this movie is basically about the United States being in a space race, and they're trying to do whatever they can to get to the moon, trying to beat Russia and whatnot, and they're willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means faking it. Now, as you guys know, this movie's based on true events. So I've been seeing this trailer for a while, and at first I was like, this looks kind of dumb. But at the same time, I was like, alright, this might be something that I haven't really seen before. I haven't really watched many space movies and whatnot, so I felt like, why not give it a shot? And I figured since it's based on true events, it could be interesting. But after watching the movie, I gotta say, this was better than I expected. Now I'm gonna start with some of the pros, and I think the number one thing is Channing Tatum. His performance in here, I know a lot of people see him, and me especially at least, as, 21 Jump Street or whatnot, or those kind of movies. I haven't really seen much more of his work, but in this movie, he's more of a serious person, and his acting, I feel like, while it might be mundane or boring to some people, I felt like he did a good job playing a serious role. It's semi-serious, and along with Scarlett Johansson, the character that she played in here, I think was good, and the chemistry that them two had was good, along with Woody Harrelson. He was like the third star of this movie. He played a good support role, and I think he did a good job. And this movie had some good imagery, good scenery, and it kind of made you feel what they were feeling like, especially towards the end when the shuttle takes off. And you can see how basically everywhere in the U.S. was watching what was happening. That's how you felt in the theater. You wanted to see what was happening along with them. So it was kind of like you were a part of it in a way. And there was a scene in here where Channing Tatum's character was getting grilled by this interviewer. And not going to lie, it was kind of intense. The dude did not hold back. He was grilling him. It was a pretty good scene. But yeah, that was good. And I just think in general the story was interesting. For someone who didn't live during that time and doesn't really have not going to say a lot of knowledge, but a lot of interest in the moon landing and whatnot, it was interesting. And the last thing I'll say is the ending was satisfactory, for what it was going for and what happened. I think it was a good ending. Now, for some of the cons, I would have to say the movie started off a little slow. I think the first 30 minutes, 45, we're just getting everyone introduced and whatnot, and I think you didn't really know what kind of movie this was going to be. I think that's the main thing. You didn't know if it was going to play more of the silly side or if it was going to be more realistic, kind of a mature take. And while, yes, this movie had some comedic moments and whatnot, for the most part, it tried to stay serious or semi-serious with what it was going for, even if it wasn't realistic. For example, Scarlett's character, she basically just takes the security's badge and just walks in and no one questions her or stops her. You think for NASA, it would be way more locked down than that. But there were just some things like that where obviously it's not realistic, but in terms of the story and what they were going for, I felt like it was more grounded, But with Scarlett's character, she literally was just Black Widow. Fake identity, fake names, lying a lot, literally Black Widow. And I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing. I thought she was fine, but it just reminded me too much of Black Widow. And besides that, I would say the climax of this movie, it was more of a predictable ending, which I'm not saying it's bad, but just something to watch for. But overall, I think Channing Tatum carried this movie. This was his movie. Scarlett was a good supporting character along with Woody. They all had their time to shine, but Channing Tatum, for me, I think he did the best, and he was the standout, and I'd say the main reason I like this movie. But with that being said, I think I'm going to give this a Salty Popcorn Award. I think this is worth going to the theaters for. I'm not going to say you need to go. I think this is a movie that you can either rent or watch in theaters. It just depends on your interest level. For my theater, there was a bunch of older people, so I feel like this reached the older audience, especially because they probably were the ones watching it in real life. So like I said, it really just depends on how interested you are. Anyways, guys, I just want to say thanks for watching another movie review, and comment down below, if you've seen this and what your thoughts are. I'd be pretty curious. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Peace.